For the projects to succeed, what we need is villagers here, basically assistance in making sure that the project takes off, trying to assist us in getting markets for our products as well. Because here we can farm almost everything, anything.
You know, brother, without agriculture, there is no life. So a lot of people, they base now to do agriculture. Even me, when it's a low season, no tourists, I'm going to be a bushman to do agriculture stuff. I grow cassava, I grow some tomatoes sometimes, it depends of the time. Yes, when it's a rain season, cassava, I don't need more raining because my place is a mountain area, so it can grow something, need a lot of water.
Before, when I was growing up in this area, we didn't have power, there was no water. And the reason was people felt that water was easily accessible here. We've got plenty of rivers. We have water coming from springs. Most of the activities they were doing farming, it was like coffee, tea, but these were done in farms which are a bit out of the area. So the village has got about 7,000 residents, the Irundo village, and about 40 or 30% of those have electricity in their house.
Jina langu naitwa Richard Mwakajwanga Isote. Mimi ni mkulima wa kahawa na ndizi na maparachichi kidogo. Kwa kweli kahawa sikujifunza mahali popote, ila nilijifunza kwa wazazi. Mzazi wangu alikuwa mkulima wa kahawa na alikuwa anafanya kazi kwa wazungu kule Mbozi kipindi cha zamani sana, wakati sijazaliwa. Basi kahamia humu na nikakuwa nikamwona analima tu kahawa, analima. Basi na mimi nikaanza kulima. Nimeanza juzi wakati nimezeeka ni mwaka wangu wa 6 huu.
Sisi mazao yetu ni ndizi, kahawa, maharage, mahindi, maparachichi na vidogo dogo hivi au kwenye mboga hizi. Hiki ndio kilimo chetu.
Yaani katika kijiji chetu tunahitaji maendeleo zaidi, kwa sababu tunajua umeme kabisa ndo kila kitu katika maisha ya kurahisisha kazi. Kwenye kikundi chetu tuna wazee wakubwa, wengine kiafya zinasumbua, wengine ndio hivyo wamezeeka, umri umeenda, hawajiwezi nguvu. Kwa tungependa sana wangetuletea huo umeme, uongeze nguvu kidogo katika kijiji chetu, ili tusaidie wale wazee ambao hawajiwezi kazi, wanaturahisishia kazi angalau. Alafu vile na ajira kwa sisi vijana katika kijiji chetu cha Irundo.
Mkulima mtuletee mashine ya kukausha hii kahawa, mashine ya kumwagilia, mashine ya kuvunia. Tena sisi tunapenda hata ufugaji, ndio umeme huo. Ndio natakiwa umeme, tunataka kwa ajili ya ufugaji, mifugo, kuku hivi. Nataka umeme.
Transformer hatuna. Iko mbali sana. Hata kuweka mashine ya kukobata mahindi hamna. Hatuwezi. Kwa ajili ya transformer hamna. Kote huko hamna, kote huko. Imekuwa kule mbali kwa ofisini. Transformer hatuna. Hawezi. Tutafurahia bwana. Tutafurahia. Tutakuwa uhuru. Tutakuwa uhuru sana. Tutakuwa uhuru kweli, kwa sababu umeme labda utakuwa tofauti na huu. Utakuwa tofauti, vile itakuwa vizuri baba. Kwa mengine tuone kama lingine ambalo lakini kwa sisi wakulima wadogo ni hivyo tu.
Okay, John Tate, I'm the CEO of Ruaha Energy. I've been working here in Tanzania for about 16, 17 years. We started Ruaha in 2013, and we've been focusing mostly since that time on renewable energy projects, solar and mini hydro here in Tanzania. Well, we're focused on rural electrification in underserved communities in Tanzania. And in underserved communities, the options mostly are hydropower and solar. There are some communities where you can put in, biomass or geothermal, but the infrastructure is not really conducive to doing that at scale. So we focus on rural projects under 10 megawatts. The licensing we have, you've got to be under 10 megawatts. We're an independent power producer, small power producer is what they call us. So that is the base of what we do, and we supplement that now with the productive use equipment, microfinancing, access to markets, this whole village development paradigm that we've developed. But the foundation of all of it is renewable energy in underserved rural communities in Africa. So right now we have the mini hydro project in Alundo, which is off-grid. We're building the distribution network and the power generation asset. And then we have the 2 megawatt grid-connected solar project in Colosa district. Those are the 2 energy projects that we're currently working on. So we've assembled a group of partners who share the vision, who share the commitment, the passion, but each contributing their expertise and their part of the puzzle. Each partner in the program is an important piece of the puzzle.
Run-of-river hydropower is a very mature technology. It's been around for a long time. The industry understands very well how to install hydropower and how to do mini grids. But the problem has always been that run-of-river hydropower, it gets developed one at a time, individual sites. And there's the real problem.
In Tanzania, the power generation asset itself pays the bills, but does not necessarily generate the returns that capital demands for replication. So success requires incremental revenue streams to somewhat leverage the fixed cost base of the energy generation asset, the distribution network asset, by putting in the incremental streams from the microfinance, by the sale of the productive use equipment, by opening up market access. So you've got to build the infrastructure in the village to begin with. If you can add incremental revenue streams, then the overall project can deliver market acceptable returns.
Cottage is specialized in supply chain feasibility. We built this modular supply chain feasibility platform that exists out of different components. We have over 50 modules, and these 50 modules allow to track and trace every part in the supply chain, from farming to logistics to warehousing to all the activities around the supply chain. And we utilize our platform to be valuable in this project. We have the expertise to track and trace every component which is going on in the supply chain of this project. So understanding behavior of farmers, behavior of the marketplace, and whatever requirements comes with that. And now it's for us a great opportunity to prove it can also be scalable and usable in rural environments. That is a pretty big challenge. You're working with people that not always use systems, so user experience becomes very important. Providing them an interface which is understandable and making sure it's available in their language. In this case, it's Swahili. And there are components that we also need to consider. For example, in these rural areas, you don't have always stable internet. So what we do there is making sure that whatever happens with the internet, the application always works. When the connectivity is off, the application still works, but when the connectivity comes back, then it will push the information into the cloud. But also making sure that there are tools available for people that cannot read properly. So in that case, you want to use voice instead. So these are all parts that we are building into it. So I think while we are developing this platform and while this project is developing itself, it will be cool to see where we can add more value and where we can show something very innovative and powerful to the communities.
This here, what you see is the source of the water which we are planning to use to generate electricity for this site. We've done some measurements for this river and that we found that it's constant and we won't have a problem with the water supply in the future. And as you can see, the water is very clear, no mud, so the potential of blocking our generator will be minimal. It comes naturally from Mount Irungwe. That's where we are planning to block the water, to build the dam. It will be built here across, and we have a penstock through that dam, through that wall, which will allow us to put the penstock to go all the way around that way up to that site, and then beyond there, that's where we are going to put the powerhouse. Initially, when we were starting this project in 2012, we were thinking of utilizing the head from that first waterfall beyond those trees and this one. And we are thinking of putting the powerhouse just around near the center of the banana plants there. And we are planning to have the penstock come across this ridge here, all the way here, and then go down to the powerhouse, which was planned to be there. But later on, when we were doing the further feasibility study and improving the potential for production of power, we decided that probably we should utilize another part of the elevation. After doing some study, we said, okay, because the initial power generation for that site was around 100 or something, but later on when we said we were moving to that site, it was increased to 300.
300 kilowatts, yeah?
Yeah, kilowatts. Yeah, kilowatts. Yeah. Now we are at the site where we are planning to build the powerhouse. You can see we've gone a bit higher elevation from the level of the last waterfall. So we have an increased elevation or head which will assist us to increase that power generation potential. Because it will be coming through the pipe, going to the generator to run the turbines, and then there will be an outlet pipe to send the water back to the river, which is just behind here. At the moment, we are at the site where people in Irundo village source their drinking water. At the moment, the water is supplied to about 80% of all the villagers. But also we allow people to put piped water into their homes, straight into their homes, without restriction. Since it's just the beginning, we've got some challenges as well. Some areas being a bit on a higher elevation than the other, but we are trying to look at the ways of addressing that issue. And this water hopefully will be used for our processing plants which will be installed within the village. Here we go. We are standing where we are planning to have our powerhouse. Initially, we thought the power should be somewhere up there, but after careful consideration and thinking that we have about 3 rapids from the major waterfall, we said that we should utilize the use of these elevations as well. So it was later planned that the powerhouse for this part of the plant should be around this area. As you can see, the water is clear as well, similar to the other river, Nyerere. So we don't expect a lot of clogging of the turbine and downtime due to frequent maintenance of our powerhouse. So after careful consideration, this area was considered suitable for putting our powerhouse.
What we have found in the village is that just delivering power doesn't move the developmental needle. We've seen a lot of activity here in Africa where a company will deliver, a couple light bulbs and a phone charger. Well, sure, that improves the quality of life for that particular household, but it doesn't move the developmental needle. The village needs triple phase power to be able to power equipment that can actually be used for productive use. We bring the triple phase power, but if people can't afford the equipment, it still isn't necessarily moving the developmental needle. They have power, but there's nothing they can do with it.
So we'll be obviously primarily focused on selling the electricity, which gives us the return that we need. But also we have established the kind of microfinance services at village level that will enable the households to buy the electric cooking equipment. They don't have the kind of cash that would just pay up front, so we're making it affordable almost on a lease basis for the electrical appliances.
At the moment, we are in the office area for the person dealing with the loans to different entrepreneurs who would like to get loan from us. This will be an area for general staff. We have desks around here so they can be doing their job. Okay, and we have an outside facility for showers and toilet. And there you can see the foundation has been laid, ready for the small part of it will be the kitchen area for coffee, whatever, for workers in the office. And the other bigger area, the last foundation, that will be for the workshop.
Si katika kijiji chetu swala zima mtusaidie sana hata mikopo ile ya riba ndogo, tuweze kufanya biashara ndogo ndogo ili tujikizi katika mahitaji. Maana tusije tukaingia kwenye majaribu kwa sababu pesa zinaweza zikamsababisha kijana akaanza kufanya mambo ya ajabu. Tunapunguza hata wizi, tunapunguza nini, yani mambo mengi sana yanapungua, yale ya ajabu ambayo yanafanyika maasi. Kwa muda hata huo uliowekwa itatusaidia sana. Hilo ndo hitaji letu la kwanza kabisa kabla ya yote. Hata nikipata mkopo leo hii hata lini, mimi nimfanya biashara wa nguo za mitumba, nikafungue mabero, nizunguke minadani kila siku, ila nitapumzika tu siku za ibada zile.
We deliver the productive use equipment and we finance it because the reason they don't have the equipment is because they can't afford it. So by having microcredit available at the village, we're able to enable the villagers that we deliver the power to be able to afford the equipment so that they can process the agro products in their environment into a value add, keep more of the value chain in the village.
How we envision the application that we're building is actually separated in 3 parts. Starting with the admin console, which actually give all the information from a village perspective. So understanding like, okay, if we lit this village, what will be the economic growth, who are the people that are applying for a loan, and if they apply for a loan, do we see increase in their productivity? So entirely admin console, understanding from a high level perspective what is going on in the village, what is the economic development. That will be connected with the farmers application. With this farmer app, they can like apply for a loan, they can buy the electricity and make sure that they have visibility around their operation and their product. The last application is actually the marketplace. This is where me as a normal person sitting in my room looking for something to invest in, I can really like invest directly to a farmer. But it's also interesting for like investors, banks, so that they can plug on into that marketplace. So in any form or way, we want to make sure that the people with capital could directly invest to the people that requiring that capital. So these are the 3 systems that will interconnect with each other and how we just really track and trace all the movement in the village.
For the projects to succeed, to go forward, what we need is villagers here, basically is assistance in making sure that the project takes off. So even we can introduce other cash crops, basically, can assist us to get market for that, see where we demand, and then we can produce. And you can assure us as villagers that you get the market for those products. I think that will be highly appreciated.
Mimi ni mwenyekiti wa kijiji ambaye nilipatikana kwa kuchaguliwa na wananchi wa kijiji kizima. Nimezaliwa Ilundo, kitongoji cha Ibagabii, nimekulia hapa kijiji cha Ilundo. Mwanzo wakati sisi ni wadogo tunaanza kukua, kijiji chetu kilikuwa nyuma sana. Ni kijiji ambacho kilikuwa hakina umeme, hakina maji, hakina barabara bora. Lakini kadri tunavyozidi kwenda, tunamshukuru Mungu, viongozi wetu wa kiserikali wameendelea kuboresha mambo kadha wa kadha. Sasa hivi tunazungumza Ilundo, tuna maji, tuna umeme, tuna miundombinu ya barabara, japo vyote hivi havijakamilika kwa 90%.
Lakini kwa huu mradi tunategemea kutakuwa na mabadiliko makubwa sana, kwa sababu sehemu ambazo hazina umeme zitaenda kupata umeme. Kwa hiyo watu wanaweza kaweka viwanda, kufuna vya kuchomelea na kadhalika. Pia watu wakipata umeme watapata huo mwanga, lakini tutapata mashine za kusaga na kadhalika. Kwa tunajua mradi unavyokuja utatusaidia sana, na kutakuwa na maisha yatabadilika, watu wengine watapata ajira.
We unlock the entrepreneurial spirit at the village level. We enable the projects that we're working on, just turn the African entrepreneurs loose, give them the tools that they need to be successful. And to the degree they're successful, we're successful. We also partner with the local communities. Generally, we share 50% of the profit from the electricity with the local village, because we find the local villages do not have taxing authority, but there's always community projects that need to be funded. So the contribution that we make is we give back that share of profits to the village to use for village development, community development projects. Maybe it's computers they want for their school, but it's community projects is what that 50% profit share goes for.
Kwa kupata marafiki zetu, nyinyi wengine mtatusaidia mambo kadha wa kadha. Ninaamini kwa kutuletea umeme wa uhakika mtakwenda kumaliza, cha kwanza kumaliza tatizo la ajira kwenye kijiji changu, kwa sababu vijana wapo wengi wanahitaji kufungua viwanda vidogo, lakini kwa sababu ya upungufu wa umeme wamekosa fursa hizi. Tunaamini kwa kutuletea umeme watu watatotolesha vifaranga vya kuku, watu watalima, wataboresha vitu mbalimbali. Kwa hiyo tunakwenda kutusaidia kuifanya Ilundo mpya, Ilundo ya kisasa yenye kuondoa ukosekanaji wa ajira. Vijana watakwenda kujiajiri wenyewe na kupandisha uchumi wa Ilundo.
Not many weeks ago we did an initial survey using the satellite technology to look at the area 100 kilometers radius around Ilundo village, and we found 112 sites. So the potential is definitely there. We're in the southern highlands, and you could replicate that tenfold easily.
So what does success look like for us? 1 million customers, one village at a time in 10 years. That's where we want to be, and then it's the next million and the next million, because there's 600 million people in sub-Saharan Africa who don't have power.